Alaina Fingal is a content creator, certified financial coach, accountant, author, wife, mother, and shameless plug, my sister in love. With a growing YouTube subscribership of over 70,000, over 4 million views, features in publications like HuffPost, Martha Stewart Living, and Yahoo Finance, and an Academy for Finance and Organization all under her belt, Alaina's mission is to help people learn how to build a life that they love through their routines and finances. Come chat with us as we discuss her journey, the importance of helping her community break poverty cycles, challenges she has faced on that journey, and explore how she finds balance and harmony between life and work. If you are a creative wanting to get more insight on how you can make and manage your finances to not just survive but thrive, check out my talk with my sister from another mister and fellow superwoman, Alaina Fingal. So I'm really excited to have this superwoman today who shares my last name. This is Alaina Fingal, a finance expert, organization expert, get Tamara's life together expert. And I'm really excited for you to share what you've been doing over the past however many years you've been doing it. It's been a long time, and you've just grown organically and really helped so many people. And hopefully you can help my audience too.
Yes.
And so I would love if you just kind of, tell everybody who you are and what your journey as far as your career has been, as briefly or as elaborative as you want to be.
Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Tam, for having me. Really excited to be on. I have the privilege of being married to Tamara's brother, Tori Fingal. And we have two beautiful little girls, Tori Michelle and Alyssa Jade. And my journey actually started when I was pregnant with Tori Michelle, my firstborn daughter. And basically, when I was pregnant with her was when I realized how much I wanted to have my life together, right? At that time, we just were like living life. Me and Tori were just like, you know what? We're young, we having fun, we can live check to check, we can do all of this stuff. It doesn't matter. He was way more nonchalant than I was. I was always like a saver, even growing up, more organized. But I think getting pregnant was my realization of how much more I wanted to be and how much more of an example I wanted to be for her. So I did things like I went natural. I started looking up different ways to raise kids, and I really started nesting and organizing all of that stuff. So at first I was doing it for myself. And then in 2017, I had a bunch of friends who was just like, yeah, you really should be doing this for other people too. They would just ask me questions all the time. And so I started doing it for other people. And the Organized Money was born in 2017. And the mission of the organization is to basically help people prepare financially for anything, for whatever life throws your way. It is all about adulting. And we are talking about stuff that you should have learned in school, but you don't learn in school, right? So how to budget, how to close that budget, taxes 101, investing 101, how to plan your life, how to start getting organized, time management, routines, habits, all the stuff that actually benefit your life that you really need to grow and know how to adult properly that you didn't learn in school. So that's my mission. And that's what I talk about on my Instagram, on my YouTube channel, over on YouTube. We just hit 70,000 there. We're on Instagram. We have about 26,000 over there. So I would love for you to follow me and follow my journey and follow my tips, because I give you tips constantly on time management and money.
Yes, constantly. Okay. So one thing that's really special about you is that you are in ministry,
Yeah.
and my brother is a pastor, and he scared her away because he told her like the first week they started dating, you gonna
Yeah.
be the first lady.
He did.
She was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
I'm gonna see you later. He told me the second week right after he met me, he was like, you know what? You my wife. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you no more. I don't think we're gonna. Now he always talks about, but I was right.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I was right. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, you ain't have to say it like
Came
that.
on a little strong.
Came on a little too strong, but he was right.
But I gave my blessing immediately when I met you. Because he was not gonna marry you if I didn't like you.
He was very, very honest about it. He was like, now look, I like you, but my sister has to like you. Because if she doesn't, I don't care if anyone else does or not. But if she doesn't, this is not going to work.
I will make your life miserable. Oh, I'm so glad we both passed each other's tests. So,
yes.
How has faith and finance function for you? Ooh, that was so many F's.
Yeah.
But yeah, with I think I talked a little bit about how faith kind of functions in business with another with Lauren in her interview. And so I'm wondering, as a woman of faith, as somebody who is in ministry at the same time as well and works for your ministry as well, how do you balance all of that? Do they work together? Do you have to kind of weigh the scales? How does that work for you?
So for me, it is all intertwined. I do not separate my faith from my money concepts. Like even when I'm talking about budgeting, I talk about tithing. I talk about how my tithe is at the top of every single budget. Now, I have had people in the YouTube comments come for me, you know, and they will
Really?
say, yes, indeed, all the time. They'll say, well, if you wasn't giving all your money to the church, then maybe you wouldn't be in debt. Maybe you wouldn't have, you know, they try. But the thing is that that doesn't even bother me because you can't tell me what my God is going to do for me, you know, and he has blessed my business. He's blessed our income. We are blessed to have a higher income, to not have been affected by COVID. My business has grown year over year. And I just know that it is because of the higher power that I serve. I serve as the CFO of our ministry, and I take pride in the ability to manage God's money. And I feel like if I have been trusted with this ability to manage God's money and to share financial literacy on the platform, then I'm not going to hide my faith if God has blessed me with this opportunity to teach other people and to change lives. Money rules everything. It really does. And the ability to be able to teach people how to manage their life and manage their money changes their lives, saves marriages, because the top reason why people get divorced is because of money. So if I can teach you how to manage money, which saves your marriage, which saves your relationships, which saves your children and how they deal with money and helps them grow up and have a better life, then yeah, I'm gonna talk about God because He's the one that gave me the talent to do so. And so I talk about it all the time on my platform. A lot of people know that I am a Christian entrepreneur, and I talk about it in posts. And every now and then I'll have people who say, you know, I'm not following you for this, and I'm unfollow, you know how they do in the comments. But even in that, I'm like, that's okay, because if you are willing to unfollow me because of that, you weren't my type of person in the first place. This business, it wasn't for you anyway. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
That's nice. Yeah, I definitely lots of prayer. You've saved me from jail, from famine and pestilence. So that being said, you and I have been working together on my finances for a few years. I'm definitely a product of school didn't teach me anything about that. And especially I'm blazing a trail as an artist and as a working musician. Both of my brothers are musicians, but they've always, because they're men and because they have families, they don't roll the dice on being a musician anymore. So they still do it, but they have other income that they depend on to support them. And so I'm the only one that's really out here doing this full time, 100%. That's all I do. And so we've been working a few years on really getting myself together, paying down debt, making really hard decisions. Leaving New York was a really hard decision. I left kicking and screaming, but it turned out 3 months later, then the pandemic hit, and it was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not paying rent anymore. And so I would love for maybe you to talk about other freelancers, especially like music creatives, and musicians and artists, maybe some tips or advice for them for handling their business.
Yeah, so I always recommend to influencers, creators, creatives, people who are in music industry, acting, whatever the case may be, is don't start later, start now. Even if you take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I always preach the 20-minute organization, because a lot of times when people say, oh, I got to get organized, they're automatically thinking, I got to take a day. I got to set aside 3 weeks where I'm going to take it. But don't think of it that way. Take 20 minutes every single day. If you say from 11 to 11:30 every day, I'm going to organize something. Let me tell you why. Normally with creatives, what happens is it happens super fast, meaning that one day you're just posting on Instagram like you normally do, and then you get a call from the voice and you go to the voice. Right? And then your entire world changes. And it happens so fast that it literally sparks a fire, and then you get a blue check. And then you're like, you're rolling, and all of these things are coming at you. And what you don't want is to have to backtrack. Now, the great thing about you is that you already had your team set up. So, you already had an accountant. Like I get the pleasure of serving as your accountant. You already had your managers. You already had kind of different people in place, and people who had already been through this journey. So you had people to kind of lean on, Orlando, just different people who could kind of say, okay, do this, 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 and this. But I know that there's so many creators out there that don't have that. So the more you have organized, the better. What do I mean? Start with simple things like your file system. Where are your taxes? No, just print them out, the ones that you had from last year, and put them in a folder somewhere. Is your business officially set up? Do you have an LLC? Do you have an EIN number? We literally have set you up and set everything up, and then all of a sudden everything happened, and it was just amazing that we had everything in place. But doing it backtrack, like if you don't already have an LLC in your name, someone could see that you went viral and LLC your name before you do, and trademark your name before you do, and now you can't use your own name. And it's crazy, but things like that happen. I literally saw, there's this YouTube channel called the Financial Diet, and they were a really big YouTube channel. They had one video, went crazy, went viral, 500,000 views, and someone else trademarked their name. And they could not use the Financial Diet anymore. They had to change to TFD. And now, of course, they just talk about TFD, but someone else is still using the Financial Diet, even though they aren't the Financial Diet, but they're able to use the name and still kind of piggyback off of their success without actually being them. So that's what we don't want to happen. And it happens a lot in the creative space. And it's because you're creative, so you aren't usually thinking about that. And if you know that's not you, then find you a really good administrative friend. I'm the administrative voice in Tamara's ear. Tabar is the administrative voice in Tamara's ear that's saying, hey, okay, I know we're doing this, but I know that's really great what you've created. Let's trademark this. Do we have some accounting on this side? What's the numbers? What's the price point? What's the margin? Are we making enough profit on this? And you need that person. You need that team of people. So start 20 minutes of organization and start building that team. Those are my two biggest tips for artists, musicians, freelancers, because even though you aren't where you want to be now, it could happen overnight. And if you don't have that team in place, and you don't have that organization in place and you don't have any type of system, it's just going to be much harder for you.
Yeah. So, speaking of having that team, speaking of starting to get help, you have Tom Academy, where you actually provide, regular education, regular support to business owners, to whoever wants it. So I'd love for you to talk about some of the services that you offer. Everything that I get from her, you can get from her too. It's just that I get more of it and for lesser price because she's my family. But you too can get the help that you need.
So yeah, with Tom Academy, it started off. I started it last year, and really it was to meet a need of a group of people who wanted to start budgeting, wanted to start saving, but they needed the hand by hand guidance, right? You wanted the step by step. So we do classes. I have classes every single Monday and every single Thursday. Monday is money related class. It's all about financial literacy. Thursday classes are all about organization. So every single week, we're jumping on twice a week and we're on for 1 hour. So it's just like if you would log on to virtual classes and we would talk about a particular topic. So if I'm talking about digital organization, I might be talking about the apps that you need to have on your phone and how to use these specific apps. We talk about that for an hour. I give you a little bit of homework. Make sure you download these 3 apps and put them on. And then we'll have like a group. We're all on Patreon. So we have like this group accountability section and a Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, we're talking about it. Hey, did you download the app? What problems are you having? Are you good? And everyone's kind of talking and being accountable to each other. I love this group so much because we celebrate each other wins. Not everybody has a team of people that they can like talk to, or family members that they can even talk to. So we are each other's, sounding board. They come to us with questions, and it's not just me. It's like all of us, some other members will talk to each other, and it's $20 a month to just be a part of the academy. And, so you even get a 16% discount if you decide to do the year membership under Patreon. And every single month you get access to all of the classes that we have done in the past. So we have this course site to where if you're a member, you can log on as a member and you can look at any class that we have done in the past. And we have classes on budgeting, we have classes on planners, we have classes on savings and getting out of debt and how to rebuild your credit, even if you went through bankruptcy, how to start over, all these different types of classes that help you get organized, help you start budgeting, and help you get on track. And so you can watch all the past classes and you can even join in on the live classes that we do. So it's so incredibly helpful, and people have come in with praise reports and testimonies of how they have increased their credit score since they've joined the group, how they have gotten organized, how their home is, their space is cleaner, how everything is so much better because of the academy. So I really enjoy sharing there. And if anyone is interested, definitely, I'm sure you're going to have some notes or something to the show, but we're on Patreon under Tom Academy.
Yes. So I really just love how much you enjoy what you do and how passionate you are about it. And one of the things about being a superwoman that I love is that, we are the givers of life and we give life, right? And so you are a giver of life because you have daughters. And I'm wondering, maybe you can talk a little bit about how other super women who might be passionate about things and really want to explore things. Maybe they want to start a business. Maybe they are really good at baking cakes and they're the cake lady, but they, don't really know where to start. And, maybe they're a mother and they're not really sure how they can balance everything. But I know as a woman, you never want to pass your legacy on being what if, you want to be able to show especially your daughters, that you can start something and complete it and be proud and passionate about something. So what would you say to women out there who maybe are in that situation and trying to figure out what to do and how to make it all work?
Yeah, I know that within the group, 95% of my audience is actually women. And for a majority of them, it usually comes down to two things. The first one that I always hear is, I have a family, and it's just, I don't have time for that because I want to be an entrepreneur, but it's way too much, right? Or the second one that I normally hear is, I'm too old. That I've already passed a certain time, age in my life. And both of them have to do with time. And since I talked a lot about time management, I always challenge when people say they don't have time. I'm like, okay, you don't have time. Tell me what you normally do that takes away from you being able to do this thing that you are so passionate about. Normally, people can come up with maybe one or two things that they have done that, they either say, oh, I have kids. It's so much with the kids. So I'm like, okay, the kids, do they ever take a nap? Do they go to school?
Okay.
Do they go to school? Do they, or I have a 9 to 5. Okay, you get off at 5. Okay, so now what happens at 5 o'clock? And what it usually boils down to is you aren't blocking your day. You aren't tracking your day. So it feels you have already set the intention in your mind that you don't have time to do something. I've already decided that I don't have time to do it. And once I continue to tell myself this story, once I keep saying, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I've already decided. You've blocked out the time that you possibly could do something because of it. If that's the case, then you can't see that 20 minutes in between when you just got your coffee that you could be doing something, or the 15 minutes, 30 minutes after the kids go to bed, but before you go to bed, where you could be doing something else. And I believe that people are thinking about this big, huge launch or this big thing that they're going to do and how much time that thing is going to create. But what I'm doing now started off as a side hustle. Before it was the organized money business that I launched in 2017, I was working from 2015 to 2017 as like after hours, after I finished work, after the kids went to sleep, because they were younger and I couldn't really put as much as I wanted into it. So I would just take a little bit of time, but try not to think of the big pie that you want to bake. Think about it in slices. Do little things, even if you started off as a hobby, that you grow to a side hustle, that you grow to a big own business, right? Do little things and then grow it, instead of trying to think of this big old thing that you want to do. And once again, 20 minutes. I always talk about, find 20 minutes and do what you love in those 20 minutes, and watch God bless it and watch him grow it.
Yes. Oh, this is so good. You're good at this, girl. Go ahead. You can fit right into the entertainer. Okay. I love that. And so one thing that I ask all of my guests is what do you believe your superpower or superpowers are?
So I'm going to go back to, I really do believe I was blessed with the gift of organization, because I know a lot of people will go back and say, I was disorganized and I was a mess and I was this and that. That is really not my story. My mom is a naturally organized, you could eat off the floor woman. And she just blessed me with that same superpower. She taught me from when I was little how to manage my time, how to organize my space, how to keep things clean, how to budget money. And it's the same power that I feel like it is a superpower, because I don't feel like a lot of people have it. And it's something that can be learned, can be taught. And it's something that I feel like I'm naturally going to give to my children. Yeah. And I love the ability to watch the light come on for other women. Like being able to say, why don't you just do this? Or what if you did your routine like this? Or what if you took 15 minutes and did this instead in the beginning of your day? And then be like, oh, I could do that. That light, that
Yeah.
it feels like a power that I'm like, oh, I just helped you. And that made me so happy. And now you're going to be so productive. And then you're going to be a better woman for your house. You're going to be happy with your husband and with your kids. And now they won't come home and you won't be angry. Like, you know how when you used to come home and mom would be like, oh, the dishes, and everybody fussing, and everybody kind of going off just because your energy feels off. But I feel like if you have this power to where you're kind of have things together, you like, oh, I got this. Oh, move this, and this. It just feels like everything flowing and we good. My space is good. My mind is good. I'm at ease. Like everything is in good shape. And I feel powerful. I feel like I'm doing this. I'm managing it all. And even if I'm not managing it all, I'm delegating some of this. Hey, babe, I need you to do this too.
That's me, delegation.
Delegate. Hey, okay, I need my accountant to do this. I need this to do this. I need the housekeeper to have this. And that's still a form of superpower too. You don't have to do it all because none of us have to do it all. But if you can delegate, you know when to delegate, you know when to do, you know when to design, you know when to put things off, and you need to know when to say, you know what, I'm not doing that. And we're just going to
That's
scratch
enough.
it off completely, right? So all of that is a power that you possess. And I feel like it's one that I have been blessed to teach.
I love it. Yes, you're so powerful, and you're right. That brings organization brings security. It brings confidence. It brings peace of mind, comfort. Just knowing how everything is going to be taken care of. Like for me as an artist, brings me so much more like peace and less angst because it is like the starving artist trope is real. Like you don't know when the next job is coming. You don't know when the phone's going to ring and you don't want to be dependent on that. You want to be kind of like, if it does ring, it's like, whoa, that's nice. That's going to be a little extra coin. And there's ways as artists that you can make that happen with products, with your music, with merch, with all of those things.
We
We've been
talk
helping.
about diversifying income all the time and having multiple streams. And I believe as a creative, you definitely need at least four. And you've talked about them, but like product income, affiliate income, sponsorship income. We're talking about, YouTube, getting on different platforms to where you can get income from that, speaking engagements, merch, all of these different things that you can set up. But you always, as an artist especially, you need to be thinking about how to cast your net wide so you aren't waiting on the phone to ring for that one big gig that they may have to net 30 your payment and now you can't pay your
Hello,
bill.
VMAs. Baby, I was
Exactly.
sitting 60 days.
And that's the thing. When it comes to big engagements like the VMAs and like these bigger, they have a net 60, net 30. You have to wait 30, 60, sometimes 90 days for a check.
Mhm.
So, but you can't do that with your rent. They want their money on the
On
first.
the first.
So you're knowing, okay, how can I diversify this? How can I make sure that I'm going to have enough money coming in constantly? Is another thing that artists always need to think about.
Yep. Well, we could talk all day. So, and we do talk multiple times a week
Right.
already. So, I would love for you to tell people more about where they can find out more, how they can get your services. She has scalable products. So, services all the way down to if you just need a book, she has a book as well. So maybe tell people how they can find you and what are some of those things besides Tom Academy, which you talked about, that they can get from you.
Yeah, so you can definitely follow me everywhere. I'm on YouTube, The Organized Money, on Instagram, The Organized Money. And on YouTube, I post twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And each video on Tuesdays is usually money related. On Fridays, it's organization related. So even if you just say, you know what, I just want to learn more about what you do and just see your content, definitely head over there. You can see just a little bit more of my tips, my strategies, the different things that I talk about on time management, how to set up routines and things like that. If you want to just join in on one of my live classes, every single Monday, I do a live free financial class. It's on Zoom. You can join. It's 4 p.m. Central Time. And we normally are on for an hour and we are talking about something money related. This particular Monday, we are getting into investing. So how to start investing if you've never heard of investing before. And I don't know if y'all are following Robinhood and what's going on with GameStop and all of this other stuff. We're not talking about the risky lose your money investing. We're not talking about that. Don't play with that. We're talking about the safe investing that you need to set up, especially as a creative, because y'all don't have the 401k retirement plans that's already just like have a company contributed one, right? So you have to set up.
We even got the 504 boys. We ain't got nothing.
You don't have nothing. So you have to set up your own system and your own retirement plan so that you're not trying to gig at 85, you know? So we want to make sure.
Where's the fan room? Where's the fan room?
So we want to make sure that you don't have to work at that age. You get to kind of enjoy your money and enjoy your time. So that's going to be a free class that I'm talking about on Monday. I'm going to talk about how you don't need extra money right now. You could get started with $50. So that class is on this particular Monday. But even if you just want to see my schedule, I post a schedule every single Sunday about what's coming up that week. So what classes are we teaching on Monday? What videos are coming out on Tuesday and Friday? What blog posts I'm going to post on Wednesdays? And what classes I'm teaching in the group on Thursdays? So every single day of the week, other than Saturday and Sunday, I'm putting out some type of content. So you could just follow me on Instagram, even if you just want to see and get more information. Organize money.
Yay. Thank you so much, sister. I really appreciate this. I think people are really going to benefit from this and it's going to be dope. I'm so glad to see your journey and just hearing you with like 70,000. I'm like, I remember when you hit 10,000 in New York.
That sure did. It was. Well, I promise you, we're going to have to throw a big party when I hit 100K and get my plaque.
Yes, I can't wait. So if you guys want to continue to follow her, just head on over to all her platforms. They'll be in the description box as well. And keep staying inspired, keep staying motivated, and stay empowered to chase your dreams.